do let them choose which subject to study, like structure time, not content. I do a little bit of that, structuring the time, not the content, more when they're younger. I do kind of have some expectations of subjects. So, they do math, they do English or language arts, they do science, they do foreign language, because we're living in Portugal. Obviously, it's good for them to learn Portuguese. They can do it in any order they want. They can do it at any time of day they want. They can do it wherever they want. If they want to be sitting upside down on the couch, I don't care. Like, they can do it however they want, but I do just lay out the expectations. And if they say, why do I have to do math? I explain it. I'm like, math's basically exercise for your brain. Like, that's the only reason for me to do the math, right? So they earn the privilege, the phone, play date, etc., and money. Yeah, my kids will earn both, because sometimes, especially with things they don't want to do, like math, sometimes they need multiple incentives, multiple and motivations, right? And so you're kind of coming at it from different angles. So they earn money for doing their chart, and then they also earn the privileges. So it is kind of a double bonus, which works great for my kids. One expert said, for studying, 25 minutes followed by 5 to 10 minute break. Yep. Our curriculum is mostly device based, primarily because of our travels. Now, we were in Georgia living in a house 2 years ago, and we had a lot, we had more physical curriculum, but then we traveled through 17 countries and it was all device based. And so it's definitely on my mind a lot. I'm definitely thinking about it a lot. And for me, I think that's another reason why I take the approach that I do with the fact that they can do their school whenever they want, because otherwise I'm interrupting their non-screen time. That's usually what's happening, because they don't get on a screen until they've done their studies. And so that means they're playing, they're drawing, they're outside. So I'm not going to be the one saying, hey, you need to come inside and do your studies on your screen, right? That's my thinking. I'm like, no, you're playing outside, you're rollerblading. Like, absolutely, that's important. And I know that you'll get to the studies and, it'll get done, and that's when you'll be on the screen. So for me, I kind of allow them to do those other things and not be on them about being on their studies, because they're going to have plenty of screen time. So when they're not on their screen and they're just enjoying life, I allow that to happen. I encourage that to happen. I foster that. I feel like I have a good curriculum that they're using, because they do get a little bored with it. So to me, I'm like, that's a good thing. Like, if you don't want to be on there, right, playing your game or doing your thing on your screen, but you're kind of like, oh yeah, I got to watch my video for class. That to me is a sign that the screens are being used appropriately, if that makes sense. Now, if they were on there, because I know I've had some of it, like they have some math game, or they have they did this one thing called Monster Math or something. And I finally cut it out because I realized all they wanted to do was play the game. And so they were on there all the time doing math, but really they were just playing a game. And so to me, that's kind of where I try to find the balance, is I don't want them doing those things because he talks in the book, he's talking about how that's what's messing with the brain circuitry in a way, especially for young kids, is that when the game and the screen becomes way more entertaining and exciting than life, that's when you have problems. And so if they don't want to be on the screen because the class is a little bit boring, then I'm like, oh, okay, that's good, because then you're going to do it to check it off, but then you're going to get off it and go do something else. So that's kind of, I guess, how I balance it. I've played with it a lot, of doing the educational games, but he even talks about that, like just the way games are made. They're made to keep you enthralled, so then you don't want to be off of them. So I kind of just try to really limit that and keep it to just the essential actual curriculum, which for us is like video-based learning. The cool thing is, honestly, if they sit down and they do all of their studies, like math, history, science, foreign language, social studies, at least for my younger girls, it's 2 hours or less. It's not a lot of time. And then, then they're off it and then they're done. So that's a plus. It's not like they're on there 5, 6 hours. Now, for some of my older kids, it can get a little longer because, it's more intensive. That is an advantage. It gets done faster. And then the rest of the day, my kids are doing whatever they want and they love it.
Right.